over the edge. Feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I've weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, with my man, Zack. I was going to give you a good nickname because last time we were the Elias Sports Bureau, but I thought we were going to do Zack, Mean and Green Elias.
Mean and green. I am mean. I'm a Jet fan, as sad as could be. And green, I guess I'm a newbie to this. And in theory, my third time. It's newish, not like blue and true.
Yeah, but it's your menage, if you will.
My menage is right. I would have gone trifecta, but menage works. Should be so lucky.
Is that where Nicki Minaj gets that from? Is there any context to that? I'm just making stuff up here.
I was with Nicki Minaj when she got her nickname. I have no idea where she gets it from. I don't know anything about Nicki Minaj.
You think you would be a baloney in that? You would not. You would be like the key grip.
The key grip. The guy holding the boom. Yeah.
No, well, you're familiar with the show, and you know Stephanie Blue and True is because of her affinity to the Boud Latte. And the last couple of times you've been on the show, you've been showing up with yings and no wings.
I do not have yings this time. I drank them all, and I bought beer today. I was looking to find something interesting, like you always have some unique can with art on it that tastes like shit on the inside. But I got lured into advertising for a beer that I've had many, many times. I like a lot of craft beers, but if I'm going to buy a sixer, it's probably going to be something pretty basic because I'm going to have to drink 6 of them. So I went with Sam Adams, which I normally, no big deal. Yet it says on here now, where's the camera? I don't even know.
Camera brighter, 1, camera 2.
Exactly. Now brighter and easier drinking, which I don't know what the fuck that means. How is it brighter and how is it easier to drink? So we're going to find out. This little line is what made me buy this for $13.99.
For one of them?
No, for a 6-pack.
Oh my God. Have you ever been to a beer store where they do have like one bottle or something? You know, like Dogfish 120 definitely has, you know, a 4-pack is $75. It's something insane.
Yeah, I've been to those. The Lucy's. That's what they used to call cigarettes. They sold individually from the Chinese guy in the little box.
Oh, I'm aware. After the choking incident in Staten Island, Lucy came back as a popular term.
Really? People still sell Lucy's? I thought that was a...
Oh, dude, I'm not getting into this, but you know the Eric Garner thing. That was because he was selling. Yeah, anyway.
Right. But he was doing it private. Anyway.
Yeah, right. Anyway, you made fun of me because I always have some fun as much as you can. I'm the idiot who has never heard of Total Wines until sometime this summer.
Total Wines. I went to the first time this summer too. It was amazing.
Amazing. I get lost in that
Home
place.
Depot for booze.
Yes, and they even have a little tasting session. By the way, I fell hook, line, and sinker because they were doing like, oh, would you like some eggnog? I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I bought a bottle of that. Why not, right? Why we couldn't? Being in Maryland, they had a special craft beer section, and if you don't think I loaded up on craft beer for my life, you're crazy. And even going in there, I said to Julie, I was like, I'm not carrying anything back. I'm probably not even going to bring anything. And I definitely bought like,
later.
I had to go get. I started off with like 1, and then 2, and then 3. I was like, I need to go get a basket. This is just getting absurd. Like at one point, you just admit defeat, right?
Yeah. By the end, you had a personal shopper with you, just walking you through the aisles.
Who gets a personal shopper? You would have to, you know, be like blind or something to qualify for that.
You get a dog and a shopper.
A dog and a shopper. So I saw a can, and truthfully, speaking of cans, that's the reason I bought it. I don't know if I've ever seen a more good-looking young lady on a beer can, and we can go into like the St. Pauli girl, but they're all cartoonish.
She's a big shiksa. But what do you got on there?
This is a real woman.
Wow, is that Anna Kournikova?
It has a very strong affinity to Anna Kournikova, but I'm not gonna lie, I would not kick her out of bed for spilling the beer nuts. Know what I mean?
Spilling beer in bed, yes, you get kicked out. I'm bananas. No eating in bed, no anything, no breakfast in bed. This is a food-free zone. I'm breaking every rule in my bedroom by having this beer. No, yes, I'm kicking Kournikova out if there's crumbs in my bed. We'll strip later, but first the Dustbuster.
And the name of the beer is Farmer's Daughter Blonde, which I was like, oh, all into this. Although
Farmer's Daughters.
Well, the whole farmer's term just means white. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, there's not black farmers.
Right, but you know there's a dating website called Farmers Only?
Yeah, it's for like hillbillies and, you know.
it's for white people, that's what it is.
You think that guys like us would clean up on there if we were like in urbane city folk?
Yeah, right, because they're going to be like, hey, city boy, can you bail this hay? Hey, city boy, are you 6'2" and eat corn for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Corn pops. That counts.
That definitely counts. All right, buddy, let's release that Kraken. You finally waited. Third time's the charm.
Yeah, usually I was spitting it back in. This one's... by the way, if anyone came in early and saw that was my bottle opener. It was that zebra that was going across the screen.
What sound does a zebra make?
That is the only reason for having Google Home in my house. With a 6-year-old, what does this animal make? Hey Google, and it makes the animal sound.
All right, that's pretty good. All right, dude. Cheers.
Let's try them. Okay, let's see if this thing is brighter. No. Easier drinking? Absolutely.
Yeah,
it tastes exactly the same.
Mine's pretty good too, so that's a good thing. So for those of us who are watching this show, because we've been doing these Facebook and YouTube and Periscope, and we've been making these live shows. The podcast is an audio thing. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Spotify. Anywhere you get your podcast, make sure you're downloading them. Give us a good rating. Booze Your Daddy, BOO''S, YOURDADDY, also on YouTube. But when you're watching the live stream, you really get the true effect, because not only is Zack ridiculous in every way, shape, or form.
This one is Choose Your Daddy.
Choose Your Daddy. But for
whatever orgasm, that was awful. Oh, Choose Your Daddy. When you watch that back, that was terrible.
But
Julia's horrified right now.
But somehow we didn't even realize it. We coordinated our shirts for this episode, which is, and by coordinated, I showed up wearing black and orange because I go real hard Baltimore. Nah, I mean, son.
Terrible.
Except you showed up wearing Milwaukee Brewers swag? What is wrong with you?
This is the greatest free shirt I've ever gotten in my life. Milwaukee, if you want freak stuff, I took this out earlier. Like Alan said, you walk in naked, they take care of you. This hat's terrible.
So you went there and you got a shirt that has clearly shrunk way too much.
No. You had your choices of a medium or like triple XL, which is like a muumuu. So I got this one, and it makes me look like, the Hulk, except it's like, I don't know where I stand in it, but it's so good. And there's not like a huge ad somewhere on it. It's like family insurance on the back, which is ridiculous too, that a family insurance company is sponsored by Barrelman. But how good is this? This is free. So like we go on baseball trips, and we usually bring a shirt. Like I had a Ryan Braun Hebrew Hammer shirt just because this is better than that. That shirt I got rid of immediately. Yeah, he's a dick. But he's not a Jewish boy.
God bless. Growing up, my mom always bought me shirts that were a little bigger, and she was like, don't worry, you'll grow into it. So you know what that did? I became a chubby kid.
That's about right. Yeah, so this was just felt like a good beer drinking shirt for for when we go Illuminati here, we share our gift. It is Giving Tuesday. Which, Al, you didn't know what that meant. So Giving Tuesday essentially means like, there's Black Friday, which is not our holiday. And then there's Cyber Monday, which is whenever you want to just blow your wad on e-commerce. And then today is supposed to be to give people things or to give back or to give. I didn't really read too much into it. Clearly, I didn't do it. But we're giving them this. So.
All right. I guess I'd never heard of giving.
It's a thing. I don't know. There's not every day is a thing.
Do you know what? I used to try to do that. I was looking up stuff online one time. It's like, oh, what day is it today? Because it's always like Cousin's Day, Cheese Day.
Your cousin just chimed in.
Yeah, Samantha. She's great.
She seems delightful.
So I went online one time and actually looked up like what day is a day. There are 17 things every day of the year. It's Pretzel Day. It's National Cupboard Day.
I love pretzels.
Hard or soft?
It depends. So I will go for the soft pretzel if it's a quality. I want the guy in the corner. But if it's going to be a hard pretzel, I'm very specific. So my wife knows, like, if they had any nutritional value, I would eat pretzels. I would eat pretzels and gummy bears are my two favorite, like, just disgusting foods. So I will not eat like rolled gold, or I will, but I'll piss and moan about it. Soft pretzels, it's got to have a nice crunch on the outside and be real nice and doughy on the inside with salt. The best commercial pretzels I've found, they don't make them anymore. Bachman rods.
Snyder's, support the family, buddy.
If that's where the family money comes from, maybe. But Bachman rods just are phenomenal. They're like old school. They're the only place they sell them is like near where my mother-in-law lives. So she's like my drug dealer. So like when she comes in, she'll have like 4 bags. I'm like, exactly. I'm scratching for them. Like, throw my rolled gold across the thing. Give them to me.
Bachman Rob?
Yeah, rods, like pretzel rods.
I thought you were mispronouncing broccoli Rob.
No, that's junk. That's garnished. Bachman rods are the way to go. But if it's a good soft pretzel, yeah, I love that. Good soft pretzels and beer, fantastic food.
But you don't mess your pretzel up with that crappy spicy mustard, right? You go for real Goyish.
Oh God, you Shagets with your Frenches. So you're telling me that my Gouldens is worse than your Frenches? Are you out of your mind?
Do you know that both of them have since crossed over and now you can get a yellow Gouldens and a brown Frenches? Like they got into the, they're each other's space as if it's like the Castellanos and then.
That's Gomorrah. That's not okay. It's a sin.
I don't like it.
It's Gomorrah.
It's crazy. Yeah, my experience at Milwaukee when we went to the game years ago was 2 things I remember from the day. First one was that it was Bobble Body giveaway day. So it was a Bobble Body. Now the Bobble Head, those things fall off. Anytime you get one at a stadium, they're broken before you're at your seat. No, it's like a forward and a backwards. It's the Primo sausage because the sausage race is good. A lot of the other stadiums have their.
I met one of those guys. It was fun. He was huge. He was walking around the vestibule.
Yeah. The other thing, which was really messed up, is I think it was in between innings, the pitching coach in the bullpen, full-blown heart attack. So the game is like, dude, it was so awkward because we're all just like sitting there and the guy is down. You can see the person doing chest compressions. Meanwhile, they have the cheerleaders on the field like, who wants the shirt? Over there. Which section? And my one buddy Jay is like, they need to turn the music down. Like this guy is dying in the outfield right now.
Did he die? Did he make it?
I don't think we Googled it on the way home, but it was pretty bad. So as Craigie has finally commented on the stash, because Movember is over, and I remind everybody, get your prostate checked by a professional, not by somebody special. I grow a Movember mustache.
Wait a minute, hold on. You didn't Google it? You weren't inquisitive enough to know if this guy lived or died? You're Schrodinger.
I had
You're Schrodinger's cat. You didn't want to know, so he lived or didn't.
Well, isn't Schrodinger's cat as if I check on him, he's dead?
Yeah.
That's how that works. So I'm not checking on the guy and hoping he lived.
All right, sorry about that. I have a non sequitur. Go back to the stash.
I kept on the mustache for one more day into Movember, but at the same time, because I wanted to rep my Orioles, I wore this shirt the other day, and my mother didn't know who it was. Zack Elias. Who is on my shirt?
Who is on your shirt?
Oh,
Eddie Murray? Is that Eddie Murray?
Yes, Eddie!
But I get it, but he looks like Ronald McDonald with a porn star mustache.
Okay, he didn't have orange hair, but for the sake of the shirt and for the sake of the stash...
Wouldn't it have been an orange face with a black whatever?
Yeah, you want to do that in 2020?
Orange face is a thing?
You can't go orange face.
Oompa Loompas are going to yell at me?
Oompa Loompas' lives matter, Zach.
Do they? They're like sweatshop employees for a maniac.
They were.
I know.
They were. Oh my God. Do you know what I had to explain today to somebody was the Alec Baldwin Canteen Boy sketch from SNL? And I was explaining this whole situation. And as I was saying it, I was like, so that was definitely child molestation, right? That's kind of what that whole sketch was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I know.
Oh my God. Alec Baldwin back in the day when he was on SNL with Adam Sandler, and it was this whole, he was like a troop leader, and he was taking the Boy Scouts out, and Adam Sandler's like, this little guy's got a canteen. He's like, yeah, man, yeah, I got a canteen boy. And then Baldwin gets super creepy and tries to like definitely bang this kid. Well, you've never seen this?
Maybe I have. I don't know. It didn't make an impact on me. That's what the Boy Scouts are famous for.
That's not a good thing. My point is that sketch wouldn't make it to rehearsals in 2020.
Oh, probably not, no.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Good old
All right, Mean and Green, tell me. Sometimes people do holiday-themed episodes. I think that's pretty gauche, to borrow a word from your repertoire.
I use that word more than anyone who's in the world all the time.
I thought it would be better if we just...
It brings the house down.
I want to just recap our holidays that we just had from Thanksgiving.
That'll be scintillating for the listeners.
No, because, I assume that you are me. You are me in that it's never going to be like, we had turkey, it was too dry, my mother said something nice, no, you're going to be like...
My mother never said anything nice, and my turkey was moist. My wife knows how to make a moist turkey.
Wait, your mother was moist and your turkey was nice?
Probably.
My point is...
She's going to come beat your ass, a maniac.
You and I are never going to have a typical... holiday. It's always going to be atypical. So I'm assuming you have something that you wanted to talk about. The floor is yours.
I mean, this year was different because we didn't know what to do. We like to host in general. I always like hosting holidays because I don't want to schlep to your house, and I don't want to dress up just to eat your food. I feel like an obligation to dress up like a chooch, put a little collar on and do it nice. Just to go over and eat a meal that you're preparing for me anyway. But at my house, I could wear warm-up pants. You want to come over all dressed up? That's your problem. A friend of mine always says you can always tell the host of any party because they're the worst dressed person there. I'm going warm-up pants and bare feet. You want to match me? I'm fine with that. You want to come in your pajamas? That's cool. You want to dress up? I'm good with that too. So we host Thanksgiving. My wife likes to cook. She's a good cook.
Great cook.
This year we were doing like the math. Like, okay, do we have 7 people over, 4 of which are in their 70s, or 2 sets of 5 with the windows open? What's better? We didn't know. It was like 3-dimensional chess or like tic-tac-toe. So we ended up going with the 2 Thanksgivings with a day in between for like my Thanksgiving after, après Thanksgiving sandwich. So we did turkey with my mom and stepfather on Thursday, and then brisket with Jenna's parents. And it was a thing. So, normally we do that with a bunch of people. But one rule I have in my house, we're not saying what we're thankful for. I don't want to hear what you're thankful for. I don't care. If you want to volunteer that information, that's great. But what I hate is the forced project. Because if you go first, You can say, oh, I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for the gathering, the lovely event. And that's a fine answer. But if you go 12, you've got to come up with new content each person. They're thankful for nothing at that point. It's all been said, and they just say something stupid or something awful.
Oh, it always deteriorates. It always gets to be like, I'm thankful for my mother.
It's a cliff.
Oh, yeah.
But between like 5 and 6, it's a big drop. Thankful for God knows what. Thankful for the Jets getting number one.
I like it.
God will. I don't. People do like it, but it's always the forced thing, and I'm always at the end of it's like, what are you thankful for? You're on the spot. I didn't like come with a whole list of thankfulnesses. I just showed up to eat your turkey. So we don't do that at my house. We don't go around the table and say what we're thankful for.
So that's your like big pet peeve for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if you want to tell me and volunteer the information, I'm thankful. I'll listen, but you're not going to get it thrown back at you from me.
Do you know how many people I ask, my patients, what their favorite food at Thanksgiving is? And most people didn't have an answer for what they really are looking forward to, but most of them would say, you know what I hate? Sweet potatoes with marshmallows on it. What's up with that?
It's okay. I don't love sweet potatoes in general.
God.
No, I don't like sweet potatoes in general. It's just if they show up, I'll eat them because I'm a fat ass, and it all ends up on one plate. You swirl it around and you go. But no, it didn't show up this year. This year was just mashed potatoes with garlic, stuffing, 2 cranberry sauces because I'm allergic to nuts, and my wife bought ones with nuts, so I had to run out at like 5:30 on Thanksgiving to go get a personal cranberry.
You're allergic to nuts? How did I not know that?
You're going to just start pelting me with walnuts and see how that goes?
I was just thinking that it sounds like you've rubbed some people pretty wrong over the years. Nobody has been like, oh my God, he's passed out. Let's put some nuts in his food.
I don't pass out. Out with my shoes on, at least. Shoes on, you pass out, you're fair game. Shoes off, you made an attempt to go to sleep. That was always the rule at our fraternity house.
I understand how it getting, Sharpied on works, but if somebody is willing to kill you with nuts, I'm pretty sure they're okay with, his shoes are off. Guess we can't put nuts in his food now.
That person plays by the rules. The murderer with the nuts plays by the rules of passing out. No, tree nuts. I can have peanuts because that's a legume. But like almonds and walnuts and cashews, and I'll Bubba Gump this through all the list of nuts. Pine nuts,
shrimp soup, shrimp salad, shrimp gumbo.
And I'm like semi-self-diagnosed because like in the 80s they didn't test you for anything. So like my parents are eating pistachios and giving them to me. I'm like 5, and they're like, "Aren't these great? They're fresh pistachios. They're so good." I'm like drying up inside. I'm like, "Yeah, they're great. EpiPen, please. No, Benadryl." Like I'm not like deathly allergic. Like Benadryl and water or just time will get there. But I can tell there's like a pine nut in my pesto in half a second.
Oh, nobody likes a pine nut in their pesto.
I don't like a pine nut in anything. But yeah.
So spending time with your family, spending time with Jenna's family. My question is, were you always close with your mom, or was there ever a moment when she became too much? Like, I guess this is more where I want to go with my story.
No, on my watch it says "Mom too much."
Mom too much o'clock. Like for me, I noticed it a lot with my grandmother and my mom in the last 5 to 10 years. My mom used to be like my best friend, where I'd call her, we talk about a million things. Now I call her and it's insufferable.
No, my mom is, she can be insufferable, but I'm sure I can be too. But no, we're still very close, and we're still very good friends. We do things outside of just being parent and child and mother and child reunion. We play golf together. We ski together and stuff. The only times that she's too much are sometimes with my daughter. She will over grandparent and undermine if I'm saying something. Like the other day, we were at the schoolyard. It was outside. My daughter picks up literally like a Sour Patch Kids wrapper. It's trash, and she wanted to make it as something. And my mom was fine with it. I said, "No, put it down. It's garbage." And my mom and I got a thing. I said, "No, it's garbage. You wouldn't have let me play with garbage when I was 6. Don't let her play with garbage. You can make that into a rocket ship all you want. It's not going to change the fact that it's still trash."
Yeah.
So things like that.
Right. I just know for me, like, again, I used to have at University of Maryland, I don't know if you heard, that's where I went to college. I ended up getting a doctorate at one point, just putting it out there.
If you say so.
The campus was ginormous. And in my junior and senior year, I was more focused in one building. But when I first got started, it was a lot of walking across here to there. And you know what? I always would call my mom in between some classes. It was a good way to get that call out of the way. And then you didn't have to waste it on like a nighttime or a weekend.
Always good to have an exit strategy too. I'm at class now. I got to go.
Bada bing, bada boom. Not to mention, you can always look more important, like you're looking at people like, hey, what's going on? Just talking to somebody important, not my mother.
Yeah, checking out some nice girl while your mom is yelling, Alvin, are you wearing a jacket? It's nipply out there.
Whenever I make fun of her, I always do a New York accent, and people are like, wait, I thought you're from Baltimore. I'm like, no, she does not sound anything like that. But it's just better to be like,
that accent either, but that's the go-to Jewish mom voice.
I don't know when this happened in the last 5 years, is I'll call her now to talk about anything, and she goes on these long rants about work drama, and nothing bothers me more in this world than somebody complaining about like office politics. Well, do you know that Sandy was 10 minutes late the other day, and Bob looked at me and goes, notice that Sandy's out, and Bob was late himself. I'm like, oh my God, I can't listen to this. I don't care. I don't care if this person came in early, took an extra vacation day, whatever it is, and she will go on and ask, Mom, tell me about you. Tell me about your life. Tell me about anything.
If I have to ramble about work, I'll quote How I Met Your Mother, the Ninja Report. That just tightens up that you don't care what I'm going to talk about. That's the way that, okay, anything about work, Ninja Report. Now on to the next. Like,
so she does that, and then I'll say, is there anything significant you want to talk about? She's like, not so much. And then, the next day my sister calls me. She goes, oh my God, did you call Bubby and see how she's doing? I'm like, no, what happened? She goes, oh, she had surgery 2 days ago. She broke her hip. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I listened to an hour about what sale is happening, where my mother needs to return something, or the drink package on the cruise and how that has to happen before. I mean, just insufferable stuff. And I don't know if that was everybody's experience. I guess not so much for you. How was my birthday and Thanksgiving, you ask?
Yes, and happy birthday. I was about to ask. It was on my list of things to ask you about, so we could do a little give and take.
My mother got a knee replacement last week. On Tuesday.
Stryker? The good stuff?
I think it was actually. Good for you for knowing Stryker with a K. Oh, the YK.
With a Y. I got you.
And I spent my birthday taking care of her, who just had a knee replacement. She was staying at my Bubby's senior living facility, where she doesn't have stairs, there's an elevator, there's a bathroom that's accessible. It was one of those like, all right, I'll go do this. I don't know who was worse. Like, I don't know, between my mother being just non-compliant, not listening to anything that I would say, she literally needs physical therapist. I'm a physical therapist, and I'm like, all right, I need you to get Walker there. She's like, I'll do it later. I'm like,
can't rub your mom's upper thigh. You got to outsource that.
Well, she's too early in the stage to actually be doing that type of hands-on work. That being said, just getting her up and getting her going.
Don't ever say hands-on work with your mother again. It's just,
dude. I have I have an uncle who's a dermatologist, like board certified. His mother, my grandmother, who since has passed away, had a full-blown rash infection, something in the nether region. So his mother, and they were like, "What are you going to do?" She's like, "Well, I'll go see him. Why not?" And she's like,
Nope.
"You're good." Could you imagine? I mean, he has to be the professional, and she's the one that trusts her son, and she is going full-blown gyno at her son's doctor's office. That's a true story.
Can't do it. Professional, you got to break the law on that one.
Yeah. That being said, even with what I do now, I'm not going anything too creepy. So my birthday, my Thanksgiving was spent taking care of my mother, who just doesn't listen to anything I have to say at all. But the worst was my grandmother, who's my Bubby, 92 years old right now. And people say, well, does she still have her marbles? And I said, she's been pretty kooky my whole life. So it hasn't gotten worse, but she's been a little out there my whole life. There's being helpful, and there's just, oh my God, I'm going to strangle you helpful. Because we're sitting there and it's, do you want me to turn the light on? No, actually, we're okay. Why don't I turn the light on for you? No, seriously, Bubby, we're good. The light will make it brighter in here. I don't want the light on.
I know how light works.
I'm going to turn the light on. I'm going to take the light bulb and break it over the sink and stab her in the eye with it. It was getting to the point that I was like, I actually flipped out at her once and I went, no more suggestions for 30 minutes. You get 30 minutes of no suggestions.
I bet you lasted 4 minutes.
She sat there like a child who was just punished. And she did that look on her face like, fine, I just won't say anything. If you don't want me to say anything,
I'm surprised. It's like, you know what would have made this punishment better? Suggest.
See, my family's not as passive-aggressive. I mean, they're pretty aggressive when they have to be.
My family's pretty aggressive. My family will tell you why you suck right to your face.
Right. Well, what's the old joke? How many Jewish mothers does it take to screw in a light bulb? Never mind. I'll sit here in the dark.
Exactly.
Right. So that's kind of not how they are. But anyways, Bubby's new obsession. So she lives at this senior living facility where you're watching television and you can change the channel at one point to the security cam on the front door. Where
voyeurism.
Well, the idea is when somebody comes in and they push the buttons, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, you pick up the phone and you can check and see who it is. But she'll just sit there randomly and just change the channel to security camera when she's not waiting for anybody. And I'm just
voyeurism.
So
you know what she doesn't want to see?
What, a body going out the door?
No, the wrong person coming in.
Nobody's getting into her apartment, or nobody's coming to rob this place for any reason.
They don't know that. They're scared of robberies all over. People watch security cameras on their phone, like they watch their nest.
My friends do that with the Ring camera. I couldn't give two shits about that. We're sitting there watching football now on Thursday, Thanksgiving, because I went every day. I drove from Silver Spring, Maryland, where I was staying, to my Bubby's senior living facility in Owings Mills, Maryland, 4 days in a row to take care of my mother. Good son, just saying. And we're sitting there Thursday, and I'm watching football. I take my mother to do one of our walks, do some stretches. I come back, it's silent. And she's sitting there like a security guard
watching the Ring,
watching this camera where there's nobody going in or out. And I looked at her and I said, "What happened to the football game?" And she says, "There's no football on today." I said, "The hell there's not." She goes, "I didn't change it." I said, "Who changed it to this?" And she gave me that look of like, you have a daughter. You know when she does something where she just lies to your face and you call her out and they have that look of like, "I didn't do it, the raccoon did it." Like,
my daughter will. I tell her she's lying when she says, "Well, apparently last year at school, the kid was being mean to her." And I said, "Well, okay, fine. He's being mean to you, no big deal." She said, going on about it. He called me an idiot. I said, "Okay, I'll take the hook. I'll bite. Why do you call you an idiot?" She goes, "Well," I said, "Okay, what'd you do?" She goes, "Nothing." I said, "What'd you do?" "Well, he was sitting next to my friend, and I wanted to sit there, so I pushed him off a chair." I go, "Well, you pushed this kid off a chair?" And they go, she goes, "Yeah." I go, "And then what?" And he goes, "Then he called me an idiot." I go, "Then you got off easy." Yeah. And then I said, "So then what'd you do?" She goes, "I told the teacher on him." And I go, "Wait, so he got in trouble for calling you an idiot when you pushed him off a chair?" That's how she rolls. She's devious. Yeah. But yeah, she says, "Well, there's a story coming," or she's lying to you.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I can go on and on about this stupid security cam where my Bubby has never had a job a day in her life. Why was she never a security guard? This would have been perfect for her just to sit there and watch this thing. It's like this crazy obsession, man. Yeah.
They love that stuff. They also don't want to make sure that the wrong people aren't coming in.
You are giving her way too much credit. It's just more nosy.
They're all maybe I did nosy. They also want to see who is coming in. Oh, did you see who's stooping with who? Because they're all stooping. Oh, they pop pill. They are stooping like you wouldn't believe. They're like rabbits.
Oh, she's 92 in April. Come on, man. So that was pretty close up there. And you mentioned something.
Your mom put it on the big screen. That's fantastic.
Do you know what she said she wants to do? She wants to get another TV just to have the security cam footage on all the time, the live feed, and then get another TV so she can watch the Game Show Network while the apartment's at 85 degrees, maybe.
Of course.
The whole time.
That's the reason why I like to host. I insist on watching. You get the football game. Because those houses, sometimes they watch the Puppy Bowl or God knows what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, nowadays you just take out your phone and you do what you want to do.
But my daughter and wife do like the Thanksgiving parade, which I do not like parades. I think they're stupid. I don't get. You're just literally watching people walk.
Yeah, well, this year it was virtual, which is what it is for most people every year because you just watch the stupid thing on television.
Yeah, but even when you go to it, you're watching them walk and you're applauding like they're doing some fantastic feat. They're just walking by you or driving by you at 4 miles an hour, like with the Shriners going by. I don't get it. The parade is more for them. Like if a guy comes back from a moon landing and he wants to sort of get a little love, okay, fine. He gets to see all his friends in the back of the car, but the people standing there are like idiots. I don't get it. I've been to it.
I've never been. Also, the lip syncing has gotten really bad. I mean, it's just one of those the person pulls the thing away from their mouth and it's still going. It's like the words are not like full blown Ashley Simpson on SNL. Like it is not even close. Not so good. The last thing that chafes my inner thigh, to borrow a page from your book, because we were going with the kvetching corner, which I thought was pretty good.
I like kvetching corner.
What chafes my inner thigh was my mother thought that there was Wi-Fi there, and it was this whole ordeal that's not worth getting into. But she finally gets on the phone with the Comcast or Infinity, whoever the company was, and then they have to like repeat a password back to them. And it was one of those like uppercase, lowercase, number. I mean, not like a normal, Baltimore Hun 95 or something like that, or 83 last time we won a World Series. But
I
it was
know what 83 is.
also when I was born.
You have to qualify it. Sadly, I know what it is.
This thing was so ridiculous.
86.
This password was so absurd. And as the people are doing the letters, and I forget if my mother was saying it to the guy or repeating it back, but she kept on picking the wrong words for stuff. Like, she kept on saying, like, B as in boy, and the guy's, like, on speakerphone, because my mother has to have everything on speakerphone. It's like, T as in toy. She's like, no, B as in boy. I'm like, you're not supposed to pick a word that rhymes with something else. There's literally letters and correlating words, so there's no chance. Like, it's Z for Zulu, because nothing rhymes with Zulu.
Hulu.
No, but you would never be confused.
I would say S is in Sulu. If you're a Star Trek.
yeah, I'm sure the guy on the other end of his phone was probably closer to Star Trek.
But no, I do like to fuck with them. I don't do T as in toy, but I'll do T as in like Tyrannosaurus. I'll do nonsense.
But Tyrannosaurus is fine. That is totally fine. So
it's fine, but I will usually go weird with it. Like, I won't give them the normal like F as in Frank.
Yeah.
Like F as in fungus. It just make it nonsensical. They laugh every time. Usually, the guy in Bangalore usually doesn't laugh as much. He's just reading from a script.
I'm tempted to actually come up with my own words. Be like F as in francophone, and the person's like, "What?" You're like, somebody who likes French culture, or speaks French culture.
Francophile.
Francophile. So. Last time when we were doing the show, it was a live episode, our first time. Things got a little crazy, but let's not forget that trivia is normally a part of what we do. And I thought that we would go similar to testing your knowledge, Zach, on the phonetic alphabet. So kind of what we were just saying. I am going to give you 5.
Ryan Cat just wrote is hysterical. Sorry.
P as in pterodactyl is very funny.
We're like two idiots, and he just broke us.
Oh my god, that's really good. No, that's what I'm saying. I am very tempted tomorrow as I'm sitting through, my 9 o'clock Wednesday morning appointment, because this guy just goes on and on about his work and different things, and I don't know, that guy, he can do whatever. It's Ron Katz. And just try to come up with funny words for everything, where there's like a silent letter to start it off.
You're just going to massage him for an hour and then call it a day?
No, he works out. We don't even do the hands-on. Anyway, we are going to do 5 letters of the phonetic alphabet. I'm going to tell you the letter. You got to tell me what the word that you're supposed to say is. Cool?
Okay.
All right. First one is, started off easy, the letter A.
So like A as in apple or A as in...
The actual phonetic alphabet, the official, when you were on a Air Force One.
Oh, okay. A as in alpha.
A as in alpha is correct. 2.
The phonetic alphabet, is that what it's called? Or I thought it was like just military talk. Or
it's technically called the phonetic alphabet, okay? You can Google it or tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not Googling it. You should see my Google. My Google history is much worse than that. I want a medical earth bracelet that when I die, clear browser history.
D.
As in Delta.
D as in Delta is correct.
All right.
Number 3, the letter N.
As in...
I was surprised about this one. I'm trying to make them harder as we go.
All right. N as in Neptune.
N as in November.
Oh, it's apropos of last month. That's tough.
Listen, I don't make the rules. I just see you get these wrong things.
I got you. This is a good one. I'm learning. I'm
letter...
my knowledge base. Something else just got pushed out of my head. Now I know how to do that, and I'm going to forget how to write.
Do you know how often I reference the Kelly Bundy, which is what you're talking about?
That or The Simpsons, or that time I learned how to knit and forgot how to drive. But yes, I'm a huge Married to Children fan. Oh, I'll do trivia Married to Children for days.
Oh. All righty. Next one, number 4 is I.
Iota? No.
This isn't the Greek alphabet, Zach.
Yeah, but I as in igloo. I'm going with igloo. Final answer.
I as in India.
India.
It
used to be Indian, and they changed it to make it more.
It's I as in Native American. And
funny story that we'll get back to on this topic. A friend of mine years ago, when I was in an office, one of my best friends, she was yelling on the phone, and she was so feisty. Like the person wasn't getting it, and she was just like it sort of took her over. Her mind just turned off. She was yelling, L is in Nancy, L. It just kept, and the office looked at her and burst out laughing, and then she just could not control her. So she had like the giggles, and like the call was over. She just like couldn't like come back from it. Anyway, go on.
Last one. So we had A as in Alpha, D as in Delta, N as in November, I as in India, and last but not least, in reverse order, L as in Nancy. L.
L as in Nancy. L as in Lombada.
I believe it's a capital of a South American country.
Lima?
L as in Lima is correct.
Who made these? This is terrible.
I don't know. I Googled it. Maybe it's wrong, but you know what?
So Google's always right. I don't want to fight with Google. They're always right. It's fine. I just think that if someone had consulted me, which would have been nice, I would have come up with better ones.
You know what, sir? All you have to do is say, hey, because this is what people have done. I got trivia this week, okay? So don't be such a skifoos, and if you want to do the trivia, you do the trivia.
No, I like the trivia. I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming like Sergeant whoever that came up with this shit.
Yeah. Well,
terrible.
In case you also didn't pick out, Adnil, spelled the other way, Linda. That's my mother's name. I hope she gets better from this knee replacement. Shout out to her, even though she doesn't listen to the episodes, nor does she watch the thing. She knows I love her. Shout out to my little sister because she wants a shout out. And you know what? I'm a man of the people. Why not?
You know what? I got more questions right than she did. Yeah, I heard your episode.
Oh my God, you're terrible. All right, Zachy, anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, and I don't care for this part of the show either. The putting the guest on the spot to plug something that got no part to plug. It's like asking what I'm thankful for.
I'm pretty sure every episode you sign on, you tell me about something that you're currently plugging.
I'm not plugging any. That just sounded horrible. No, I wrote a book when I was like 17. We discussed that. That came out of nowhere.
I don't want to hear about your book.
No, we had nothing to plug last night.
It's like if there's something that you really wanted to say, it doesn't have to. You don't have to like. Oh, everybody, make sure you vote. Everybody,
it's just like hawking product. I'm not here to eat, Oriana's Oreo. I know, right? It was there. Anywho.
Oh my God, I gotta send you an. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got nothing to plug. I had fun though. It was a good time.
Very good. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps up another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Make sure you're downloading the episodes. Leave us a comment. People are watching us on Facebook. We got almost 600 views, which is good, which means they probably watched the first 5 seconds, realized my computer froze a bunch, and they're like, oh, these jackholes. I'm not watching this.
Oh, your sister's on here. Oh, she probably hates me now. It's fine. I'm good with that.
It's cool. All right, Dr. Allen, Zack,
Dr. Zack. I'm a fake doctor, too.
You're not fake anything.
I could be. I'm fake everything.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.